like MES. These have high liquidity, and the micros allow for smaller position sizes. Starting small helps build confidence while minimizing risk. Again, stick to a trading plan. Emphasize the importance of creating a trading plan. This plan should include entry, exit strategies, risk tolerance, and times to trade. It keeps traders disciplined and reduces emotional decision-making, which is critical in futures. Why avoid trading during volatile news events? Advise them to avoid trading during high-impact news events, like FOMC or CPI releases. This is where market slippage and erratic movements can result in bad fills and unpredictable price swings. As a new trader, it's better to trade in more predictable market environments. It's crucial to control emotions. Futures trading can be very emotional. Teach them the importance of remaining calm and detached from their trades.
Good time to
Having
scale
a
down.
preset stop loss can help reduce
right.
emotional
More
stress
opportunities.
during live trades.
Our man John Jones.
No
the
brainer,
VIP
learn the top
fame,
step rule.
asks, do you
If
think
you are
Trump
using
hates
top step, it's
Powell?
a must. Know the rules top steps
Probably.
rules like the one rule to get funded, which focuses on risk management
Kind of
and not
everyone's,
breaking
uh,
daily
West-
or weekly loss limits.
Blanket.
It's one of the simplest funding pads out there,
Yeah.
so following these rules
I have heard,
will
I
keep
think
them
I've
on
mentioned
track.
this a few times, that
You against you
Beza,
emphasize the psychology
the
of trading.
Treasury Secretary,
Trading isn't just about
seemingly
strategy,
got
it's
Trump
about
to come around to
mastering the
idea
mind.
that their real target
New
should be
traders should
trying
understand
to,
that patience and discipline
lower the 10-year rate, since that's such a barometer for mortgages, and people love low interest rates.
since no one ever gave me this.
And to that extent, they've done a very good job. As mentioned, we've already come in 500. Or sorry, just good number of bips, 0.5% in the 10-year. And unfortunately, though, that's because there's some growth concerns. The nowcast that the Atlanta Fed puts out, now granted, that's just like an algo that spits things out, has been spitting out some pretty wild numbers as far as the economy actually contracting. I think it's like 2% or something like that. Now that could be game because the numbers are all over the place.
Since no one ever gave me this advice as a new futures
there are
trader,
some worries
here are
creeping
some
in.
key.
And once again, that is why this will he or won't he rollback. We might have to beam. If Trump speaks today, we might have to beam it in.
Sounds like a plan. Hey, we got 5 minutes here till top of the hour. Crude bubbling. Getting ready for showtime. And still holding around the lows here right now.
Yep, new lows of the day in crude.
The news overall, like just fundamentally in crude, is pretty bearish, right? I think we saw a pretty large spike down earlier in that last week with the OPEC Plus saying they're going to continue to increase supply. We're coming back down to, on a daily, we're coming back down to that range that we're almost at the lows of that range that we sat in for 3 months, down near 65. And it just looks like if that wants to give out, I don't know where that next low would be in crude oil, right? At that point, I think you start looking at whole number levels.
Since no one ever gave me this advice
50,
as a new futures trader,
if you look at
here
a
are
daily
some
chart,
key
there's a lot
points
of
that
room
can really help you get started on your trading journey.
demand level.
Why understand risk
Will be
management?
interesting to see.
Risk
it looks
management
very
is
heavy
critical
on
in
the
futures trading.
medium time frame as well. I've been completely wrong about crude oil. I wanted to buy it above 70, and the market did not agree. So maybe looking for more opportunities to sell it. I do see 130 bid at 66.5, which is decent size for crude oil.
Yeah.
So we'll see whether or not sellers are convinced enough to sell through that. But
well, you know, Jay, I mean, this is the third day it's been on the decline.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's, I mean, with everything that's coming over the wire and stuff.
Since no one ever gave me this,
see your 70s at all.
Right.
And I've been watching it too here. But gosh, you know, when's the last time we traded 65 even? All right.
65.
Liquid dinosaur
evens.
in the tank.
Going back to November. So We will see. Crude. Okay, that's interesting. Crude has just been
Since no one ever
in
gave me this
a
advice as a new futures
downtrend.
trader,
If you look at the
here are
daily
some key
since the
points that
inauguration,
can really help you get started on your trading journey.
drill, baby, drill.
Why understand risk management? Risk management is critical in futures trading. Set a daily
Prices here.
loss
We got the
limit
crude
and
open
always
coming up in about 2 minutes. Gold with a decent bounce here around that 2,900 level. I'm still looking at that. Still very heavy. I don't see, much of a reason to buy this yet. It's been pretty significant, consistent volume to the downside. So fading that is just asking to kind of get stopped out. So it'll let me know when the market reverses, and I'll take it from there.
Someone asked, ES settlement's just about 3 points lower than here. Just ballparking it. Right around scratch on the settlement.
Well, your gold looking around 70% long here. Average price 29.11 even. So it took a bounce.
I keep on looking back to this daily. This is the daily ES chart. And we mentioned, we're on the futures, at least, we're through the 200-day moving average. We're also kind of through. There was a couple times back in October, January. That was probably DeepSeek. Which one of these was DeepSeek? Amazing how we've already forgot
that. Was January 13th. Yeah, right.
Right there. So we've had, we're testing below. So we kind of hit around this 5,800 level or just around it and bounced off of it on January 13th. We bounced off of it on November 1st, right before the election. So basically what we're seeing here is the whole retracement of, we had the big Trump trade move, long stocks, short bonds, long Bitcoin, kind of bouncing back and unraveling a little bit here as people just reassess. Bounced off of it again in late October. Let's go back further. We're kind of seeing the break of this trend here, some consolidation. Uncertainty is kind of ruling the day right now.
Yes, it is.
We can close below here. So look at that. Yesterday we closed right at that level, right at the
order filled,
right at the DeepSeek lows.
Jack, do you think you could get a approval to hold a house account long in the S&P, maybe even a micro, just if we get down towards that 200 moving average?
Oh yes, I do, and I very well might.
Nice.
I think I could put on one ES down there. Let me see once the SPX opens up. As far as options levels, and then we'll move to the NQ. Things have been moving so much that a lot of the big options levels are a little wider than they have been. For instance, in the ES, could see some gamma support around 57.10, which, sure, that's 80 points lower than here, but things are moving. I don't see a gamma flip until way higher. Still a lot of 6,000 activity there.
Crude oil open now. 1 minute range, 1 minute opening range is established. We traded both sides of it pretty quickly. So the way I like to take these opening range trades, I like to give it a little bit of time. Normally I'm looking at the 3 minute opening range just to kind of give the market some time, right? A lot of times we'll see this kind of wicks on both sides, but similar to what happened in gold, right? Eventually this VWAP, which is this red line on my chart here, chooses a direction. If it stays in the middle of the range, then for me, it's a no trade, especially with how tight this range is. But if this red line starts to leave that range, and the high of it is 66.67, the low of it 66.57, so 10-point range, doubt we stay here. once this VWAP starts to choose a direction,
Order
that gives me a
rejected.
little bit more confidence in the trade. And that's where that gold short entry came from, right? Right off of that VWAP on a retest of it. But need to give the market some
Order
time
filled.
to decide where they want to go, and then we'll get in from there.
So we did, Eddie, thank you again for throwing out the news. You see it in there. Yeah, I'm eyeing, I think we're going to, okay, so form my trade thesis for the day. I was looking at the NQ in the spot market. So this is the daily chart of the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is basically the ES, just more so, right? Kind of hanging out in the same areas. We dipped a little further below the. So we've actually pierced the 200-day moving average
Order
in the spot
filled.
market for the NASDAQ 100 yesterday on quite that tail. But once again, interesting level here. We're just below. Let me see. This is the daily chart. I mean, look at this. I just drew a trend line because we like to do that.
Switch over to your charts if you can, Jack.
Yep. Forgot I'm doing that as well. Okay, here we go. Here's a, man, I could draw this trend line back further. We can bring it all the way back to here to January of 2023. We've touched it 1, 2, 3, almost 4, 5 times. This is the first time it looks like we closed below it. And once again, this coincides with the moving average. So as I'm framing out today, let's go down to like a 15-minute. When this cash market opens, what do you think, Jay? Are we making a run for the lows? Eventually, I want to buy a small amount and hold it for a long time, somewhere near that 200-day moving average. Probably in the ES.
Yeah.
Order filled.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. Just kind of the way this price action looks right now
filled.
at a retest of those lows. And I mean, we're talking about another almost 300 points in the NASDAQ.
Order filled.
That's not unreasonable,
Order
right?
filled.
We saw 400 points in 30 minutes yesterday. And we do have that major 20,000 level that we stopped just short of yesterday. So I wouldn't be surprised at a run of those levels. If we remember on the sell-off, we were talking about, we were down close to 2%, didn't get exactly
Order
there,
filled.
and some buyers stepped in. Maybe that was short covering. But yeah, these markets are very heavy, cannot hold a bid at all for the last 2 weeks. So I would not be surprised at a retest. At some point, Jack, somebody's going to step in and buy it, right?
Absolutely.
For me, it's not here, right? Not with any type of good risk management, not buying it here.
I'm going to take down my top step levels for now because I know that they're not updated yet. Once again, very important meetings going on, of which me and Dolby are not at. But we'll see if we can get those for later in the day.
Well, you know what? We're 5 minutes after the hour.
Order
I've
filled.
got some news.
Let's do it.
If we've got some time here. Well, we did see that the U.S. stock futures pointed higher today as investors eyed comments from the top Trump administration. That was that Ludnick guy, potentially scaling back recently imposed tariffs on Canada and Mexico. We did see that the Dow contract added 248 points, 0.6%. The S&P futures climbed 39, 4.7, and the NASDAQ climbed 168. Some of these main averages on Wall Street sank yesterday from the U.S. levies on its northern and southern neighbors, as well as doubling the duties on China. They had the reciprocals, and they were at 10. Now they are at 20. So at the end of the trading session yesterday, if you were with us here, we did see that the S&P pulled back a bit, shed 1.2%. Dow dropped 1.5%, and the NASDAQ slightly looking underscore at 0.4%. So we talked earlier here, Trump addressing Congress yesterday to remind everybody about his rapid fire policy actions during the opening month of his second term, stating that America is back. Trump listed his moves to overhaul the country's trading stance, reshape its foreign policy relationship, and slash the size of its federal government through the Department of Government Efficiency. So we did see, we talked about the 100-minute prime speech. However, Trump still tipped the probability to comprise a deal with Canada and Mexico. And that's what we're going to be watching today to see if anything. I know there's an announcement coming up here. Lutnick mentioned, did not give a time, but we're going to be keeping our eyes on the wire as close as we can. And
Order filled.
But otherwise, you cryptocurrency kooks. Bitcoin rose Wednesday, today, as a matter of fact. Today's Wednesday. As extended route of crypto prices drew some bargain buying, while the hopes of scaling down in Trump's trade tariffs also aided the appetite. We did see that the digital token was nursing wild swings over the past week, with its price temporarily falling below 80,000, and the persistent fears over the tariffs. So that's what I've got here, Jack. Just figured I'd put that on the table, and I'm going to pass this back to you. Back to you, Jack.
Thank you very much, Eddie, with the news. So, Jay, one thing I'm thinking about, say we get what I want, and
Okay.
I'm not gonna put on anything in the ES until we open, because I think that there's a decent probability we make a run for the lows, which is kind of what I want. I want to buy small size somewhere in that 200-day moving average level on the spot market. And then I want to hold it for a long time with a pretty decently wide stop. That does mean, however, that if I do that, I'm going to have to carry it through some numbers. Now, if I just
Right.
keep on putting this on, I'm not going to hold it through non-farm. But we're on for the next 3 days. It would be interesting to have a trade go for quite a while.
That'd be pretty cool. What would you be willing to risk on it? Right. If we're talking about a couple of days, we're talking about a potential buy somewhere near 57.50s.
So let's go out. If you're going to make trades on the day thing, you got to look at the day chart.
Yep.
So let me flip mine real quick. Okay. So, like, this isn't something that I can put a 10-point stop on. Now, you'll see
Right.
that teal line is the 200-day moving average for the ES. I am always, the further you go out, the more skeptical I am of the futures moving average versus the spot market. Because remember, these contracts, like MP showed like this chart the other day. Now we're carrying us back to 2022. Remember, these prices in 2022, it was still trading. They were still trading the March 2025 contract, so there was a significant premium. Like, say,
Right.
okay, right here on March 30th, 2022, this was at 4,800. Let me take a look at the SPX. No. What was the date I said? March
It was March 2022.
March 2022. Riveting TV, but bear with me. There's a point to be made.
We're planning out a potential 3-month trade here, so give us some time. Just gonna hold it if
So
it keeps working.
in March of 2022, the SPX was around 4,600. So there was 200 points of premium. And that gradually has decreased until today when it's basically nothing. But what ends up happening if you use moving averages in the futures, they can work. Any indicator can work. But they're going to be higher than the spot market, than the price you see on TV, because all along here, it was 200 points here. Let's say it was 100 points here, 50. The moving averages are just going to be higher. Okay. if we can get that spot one, I'll put it on. But we're in a day zone here, right? So like, I think that on one contract, it's got to be something we can look at a closer level, but it's got to be like 50 points at least.
Yeah, I would think so.
Maybe
At least,
100.
right? I mean, yeah. The daily ATR in the S&P is right now 88 points,
Okay.
right? So
That's not a bad way to set it.
right, we're keeping that in mind. If we go with the Coach Paul suggestion, Coach Paul, he says whatever time frame you're trading on, your stop should be 2 times that ATR. So I mean, we're talking about 160 points in the S&P right now. The thing about that is it's like the parachute stop, right? Where if what you're seeing doesn't align with your trade idea, you could cut it well before that. But to kind of avoid, even on a shorter time frame, right, kind of avoid some of the wicks that you might see just in natural price action. That's a good suggestion. That would put us at 160 points puts us at it's an $8,000 trade, $8,000 risk on a one lot in the
We
S&P.
also, I think it's easier than that. We'll know if to pull the ripcord if, as we say, if if Trump comes on and says he's rolling back the tariffs, we'll be sitting pretty, right? And then we can
Right.
adjust from there. Conversely, if something crazy happens out, we can be out before something like that. So anyway, just something I'm looking at. It's 8:15 right now. I'm gonna go over to Jay's screens. We'll hang out here for another 5 minutes or so and then give us some time to get set for fast markets. We got Jerome in the house. Jay's coming. Dolby will be there. Dolby, I'm sure, is still high from that NQ trade that he made at the end of the day yesterday.
It's a great trade.
200 points out of a one lot. That was good stuff.
Great trade.
Great trade.
So just taking a look at crude oil again, we finally have that VWAP kind of leaving that opening range to the low. So this would be, if you're looking to get in short, somewhere around here, not risking a whole lot, probably risking about 20 ticks on a short. If I was to take it from here, I'm not going to take this trade, but that's what I'd be looking at here. Let's get back to. So let me take a look at gold. Yeah, gold does not look convincing to the buy side for now, right? We did see, near that 2,900 level, we got down to 2,903 half and bounced from there. But this highest volume candle that we've seen so far on the day is holding. The way I'm reading that is, some big sellers came in here to cause this
Order
price action.
filled.
And when we trade back through their prices, they aren't letting the market trade above it, right? So whoever's sold here is defending this position, continuing to sell. So I'm not seeing a convincing gold buy yet. Now, if you took this trade, I know we had a long tilt from 29.11. They were in the profit, but the daytime trend right now is to the downside. So if I'm in any gold longs right now, I'd be thinking see profit, take profit, unless we close above 29.17.
Right on.
And the next time I get one of those shorts, we'll do what we can to hold on to it. Right? I know we got Diamond Hand Dolby coming on. He doesn't let anybody cut trades. So Dolby, you're my accountability partner for holding trades this week. Right, let's see what else we got here. S&P's bouncing a little bit. 5,800 is going to be a very interesting level as well. Just major psych level, right? Anyone who's trading the S&Ps knows when we're trading around these $100 levels, right? 5,800, 5,900, 6,000. You can see 5,800 starting to act as a resistance. Zoom out a little bit. Starting to like shorts potentially jack into those lows, right? If we're talking about another 50 points before we're looking at buying it.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see what happens on the open. Like you said, this close to the open, I don't think it makes sense to take a trade.
I tend to agree. The Tilt tends to agree. We got slightly long, 56% long ES, 59% long NQ, 64% long the oil, 42% long the gold. Man, that was a close yesterday from 2:30 onward. I was watching in the background while Dolby was taking that short.
I mean, you look at this last 30-minute candle in the NASDAQ, it's 362 points, almost all to the downside. And again, just Coach Paul and I have been saying it as well. It's okay to scale down, right? 300 points. If you catch 50% of a 300-point move with a couple micros, you had a great day, and you're able to limit risk. So with this increased volatility, we saw it in July going into August last year as well. Dakota was on stream with a $200,000 account trading 5 micros because of the increased risk, but the potential for more reward also with the increased volatility.
Well,
Bottom of
gentlemen,
that late. Yeah.
I was going to say we've got about 2 minutes here before we take a break. We got fast markets coming in, but Jack, go ahead. You were going to add to that. I'm sorry.
Yes, I was. I was just noticing that the bottom of the spike downward, I guess we call it a waterfall from yesterday, was pretty much ended up at exactly the point of control, the volume point of control for the day, what it ended up being. So I'm with you, Jay, where I want to see where it opens. Looking for it to test down lower there, at least at the bottom of that late spike, and then see where things settle out. Maybe looking to buy off the 200-day average. So we're going to take a little bit longer than usual break because there's only a few of us. We got to get stuff set up and back. We want to make sure we get into well before this open because things should be rocking.
Certainly. Yeah.
We got the joint address of Congress. Remember, it's not the State of the Union, not till next year. All sorts of numbers coming. The feds are speaking. It's going to be a great show. Jerome's going to come join us. No one's watching us in the House of Counsel. Let's make something happen. Thrilled that you guys are all here in the chat. Let's have a great day. Okay. And we'll be back in about 5 minutes to take on this beast of a market open. Thanks for joining us, Jay.
Good stuff, guys. Have a great day.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Stay humbled, centered, focused. Hoag's not here, but he's having a good time. Miss you, Hoag. We'll be back right after this. Oh, shoot. I forgot. Because I'm the guy working back here, I got to set it up. You're the guy
doing
Enjoy.
Shutting it down. There you go.
Peace, everyone.
Here we go.
Pray for peace, like Hoag would say.
Enjoy cloudy downtown Chicago. We'll be right back.
It's terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Freaking thing is going down. There's nothing here. Oh, everything is here. Why are you coming down here? Mm. This freaking thing, man.
Order filled.
You did me wrong. You did me wrong. You're coming for this little thing, man? Fucking unbelievable. Mm-hmm. I can't believe this is not picking me up. Damn.
Order filled.
Now go up. Go up, baby. Go up. Make me happy.
Yes, Andre has a lot of shoes to fill because you have to not only fill his, but also his 10 other clones. So I got like 10 pairs of shoes I got to fill.
Mel DeMarcos.
We're on a skeleton crew, yeah. So everybody, welcome to Fast Markets. This is sort of maybe Top Step TV unplugged for the next 3 days. Maybe by the time we get to Friday, it's Top Step TV unhinged. We will see. But we got some of our favorite guests. We got Coach Jay. We got Jerome.
Yay.
We got
Yay.
Jack.
Good morning.
Jack, it's going to have so much fun. Jack, you and I, this will probably be the most screen time we've ever shared together in 3 days. Cannot wait to see what we come up with. It's going to be interesting. But looking forward to it. Chat, how we doing? And we
Order
heard from
filled.
Jack and Jay. Let's talk to Jerome. Jerome, what are you seeing in these markets? I know you don't typically enjoy trading this morning, or mornings in general, but you wait on the sidelines. How long do you wait on the sidelines until you get involved in the markets?
Yes, indeed. I wait at least 15 minutes. I usually like to wait half an hour, waiting for the 10 a.m. candle to open until we see some movement. Sometimes I take positions before, but yeah, at least 15 minutes. I like to don't take position. I don't have an understanding or an edge. It moves very fast. I don't want to get liquidated very fast. So we have a lot of time during the session to take positions. So yeah, impressive move yesterday. We had a huge run up and then a huge move down. So today is like in the range of yesterday. We are at the high of yesterday's opening range. So there's a lot of room to a downside since there's a lot of stop loss around like between 20,000 and 20,100. So if we are to visit these zones today, it's going to be very tough for people who are long. And it's the same on the upside. So there's going to be good position and decent positions today. Let's see if we have the same volume as yesterday. Yesterday was very wild and very high in liquidity. Mm-hmm. So let's see if we have the same day today, and we'll see how we position ourselves. What do you think, Coach Jay?
We're open.
We are
ding,
open.
Ding, ding.
Ding, 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 ding. There it is.
Jerome, maybe being a little patient here on the open. We are trading right below that 5,800 level, which is a major level. And then what I have marked out on my chart is the low of that spike yesterday, right? We kind of just tested, hit 50% of it, 57.80. Jack and I were talking about potential buys much lower here if SPX gets down to that 200 moving average. So that might mean there's a short opportunity to get down there right now. The market has to agree with that idea. Do they want to just buy it here or let this sell a little further and test yesterday's low? Right now, no trade, just kind of waiting. And I know we have a number coming out in 12 minutes, so maybe we wait a little bit for that. But should be a good day. These markets have been moving a ton, presenting some good opportunities, but I think it's about being patient, waiting for them, and then executing when they show up.
Absolutely. Yesterday was an incredible trading session, pretty much for everybody, unless you just did not manage risk well. But opportunities were abound for range traders, momentum traders, everybody in between. House account had a lovely trade yesterday into the close.
If you don't say so.
Yeah, hell yeah, Jack. I put that trade on. It was an absolute banger. 200 points in the books.
Order filled.
That should buy us at least maybe 2 hours with chat until we put on another trade. So we are definitely going to be trading. Huh? Go ahead.
We're about to test the lower end of the opening range in the
order filled.
There's about 10-point opening range. 84. What I got there for that? Hanging out in the middle.
Yeah. Yep. 84 to 94. On that 1 minute.
Yeah, we're actually stuck
order
to
filled.
Jay, you're a big fan of the 50% move. If you actually draw a fib from the bottom of yesterday to the high of yesterday, so I think that's about 20,077 up to 20,730. The 50% of that is 20,403, which is almost exactly where we're trading right now. So still very, very range-bound markets in the NQ. We still have those news events coming up. I might need a little bit of hand-holding and reminding here because typically I am not on air when there's news events going on. So I'm going to have to sit on the hands a little bit while we wait for this. Are we expecting anything, Jack? Anything to really move the markets as far as what could possibly come out?
Yes, we had ADP come out this morning, low 77K as opposed to a 140K estimate, 845. Well, Eddie, you want to take away the eco? I don't want to step on your toes.
I got big toes. It's inevitable. Well, you know what? We got something coming out here in 8:45 here. We have the U.S. S&P Service PMI. They're looking 49.7. We also do have the composite at that time. 9 o'clock, we got the Service PMI, U.S. ISM. We do have factory orders too, month over month, which might sort of turn the blender on. And of course, at 9:30, the crude oil inventory.
Won't
We got
believe
beige
this.
book about 1 o'clock. And
Just one
we
after
do
the
possibly
other,
have
man.
some speakers coming on in and out. So eyes on the prize here. I'm watching the wire. And that's what we've got here so far. Back to you, Dolby Time.
Oh, thank you
Order
so much,
filled.
Eddie. And actually, I just pulled up Top Step X here. If you go to Trader Hub on the far left-hand side, second tile down, you actually have financial juice built into Top Step X with streaming news on the left-hand side. Very, very cool stuff there. We do have that news coming up, so probably no trades for a little bit until we can have this news play out. Jerome, did you take any trades yesterday? Are you muted? Am I muted? Did I crash?
No, we got you, Dolby.
No,
Are we good?
We
Did
got you,
Jerome
Dolby.
crash?
I got you.
Oh, hello.
No, I'm here.
Jerome,
But you got cut. Sorry, I didn't hear you. Can you repeat? I'm sorry.
Oh, yes. Did you take any trades yesterday during fast markets?
Not during fast markets. Right after I took one, got a win, and then tried to do another one. Could have
Order
scalped
filled.
it, decided to keep it, and ended in a loss. So
And then lost.
it was a decent day.
Yeah, it was a decent day. It was a very interesting day. What are we looking for the markets here? I mean, things are looking pretty heavy once again. We cannot make
Order
higher highs
filled.
at all on the 1 minute here in the NASDAQ, but we do have news coming out. Chat, what do you feel in these markets today?
Order
Bullish,
filled.
bearish? Let's get your opinions as well.
NASDAQ's leading us
Feel
to the
free to chime
downside
in.
right now.
100%. We still have that
NASDAQ
news
is
coming out. So
leading
it's
us.
We
Yeah,
bust
it
the
is.
opening range here.
Rolling
About 10
over.
minutes.
rolling over
Alright.
into news.
Ton of selling coming in. I was looking for a sell in
So
the
far,
S&Ps somewhere up near 58.11, but I don't know if we're going to get there now unless that news spike brings us up there. The NASDAQ just
Yeah.
looks like it's ready to go.
What's the any catalyst here for this down
Order filled.
fall? I mean, it kind of seems like it came out of
Everyone's
nowhere.
Order filled.
It's,
Think yeah,
Yeah.
people are going with like the trend.
here we'll do that.
Order filled.
Hopefully, we can
Exiting.
catch a nice trend trade today.
Perhaps some inventory adjustments. I don't know how to read them, but perhaps there's some of that.
Yeah, that's right. I mean,
The
if you
thing is,
go
we are
to
trading in the range of yesterday, so there's a lot of orders, sort of remnant orders, still from yesterday, and we have an
Order
opening
filled.
range of 103 points so far for the Nasdaq. So it's a very big and pretty nice opening range for 7 minutes so far. So tells us that we have a good volume today. We're gonna have nice liquidity. So there's
Order
gonna be
rejected.
opportunities. So again, like yesterday, be careful if you don't want to get frustrated or don't want to get liquidated fast. Trade micros
ooh,
and don't forget to
yeah.
put a stop.
We've had a lot of traders come on recently and actually say during this volatility, size down, trade micros. We had 0-Day J on, who's one of our favorite goofballs, and even he is saying, "Hey, just size down, so go to micros, use wide stops, kind of
Order
find a
filled.
way to take advantage of this volatility without getting stopped out. Because there's nothing worse than getting into a very active market with too tight of a stop, and you get stopped out of a trade, not because it was a bad idea, but just because the risk management was too tight relative to the environment that we're actually trading. I am also looking here at the possible inverse head and shoulders. Jay, do you see this, or Jerome, do you see this in the NASDAQ? It looks pretty clean so far as a potential
time frame,
inverse
Dolby?
head and shoulders. 30 minute. 30 minute
30
on
minute.
the NASI. Yeah, we're right at the neckline right now.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
So
I can see
I'll wait
that.
and see how this plays out here. We got gold is rallying. Maybe we can switch over to Jay's charts. Look at gold. Chat, if you see a market that you like, that you see is moving, please let us know. We'll try to switch over to it. We're a little bit limited on how to switch screens, so Coach Jay is going to be our alternate market guy. So Jay, if you want to pull up, oh yeah, gold is running. Look at this.
Yeah, gold is kind of doing exactly what we talked about in the opening call. If we got above 29.17s, I kind of missed that trade. I think there's a lot more room up, at least 29.30s right now.
Okay.
We held above that high volume candle and starting to rally from here. We need to see, when we get in this consolidation up here in gold near 29.25, 29.30, we need to see some convinced buyers in here. But yeah, there's some room up in gold up here.
Hey, we got a nice run in Dow here north. Dow running north here
Dow.
nicely. Order filled.
Can you switch over to Dow real fast too? See what Dow's up to. Really fun market to trade, actually. I really do enjoy the Dow.
Dow leading us to the upside right now. If we have looking at that opening range again, first 3-minute opening range, some nice. Yeah, that's a nice
order
nice
filled.
Dow either.
NQ, crazy bounce off that neckline. We drew the neckline at about, let's say, 320s. Already
Order
back
filled.
up. It's almost a 100-point trade. Holy crap. NQ is going to be providing a lot of opportunities today. We literally just talking about the inverse head and shoulder pattern neckline. 20,320. We're already trading 20,420. That move happened in 1 minute. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Total of 2 minutes. We're still trying to close the second candle. Maybe that was like a minute 30, Jay, and a 100-point move in the end.
Yeah.
Anyone get that in chat? It's like, seriously, that was incredible.
These are wild markets right now. Again, presenting opportunity. I was looking at a potential short, like I was talking about earlier, in the S&Ps near that overnight VWAP, which is right around 58.10. We did have a high volume candle pre-market, and 50% of that is 58.11. So if I took a short in the S&Ps, it would be 58.12, right around 58.12s, with an 8-point stop above 58.20.
We can get your charts up. Or we're gonna have to
looking
call
for
it
a
out.
move.
Maybe I can do it. Hold on. Can I do it? I have the button, right?
You can as well, Dolby, if you have that secret screen open.
Order filled.
Or maybe I'll send it to one trustworthy person in chat. All right, we're pushing. Now we got the 58.11.
Oh, check that out. Hold on. I can do other stuff too. What's this do?
What a bounce.
I didn't do anything. I'm going to stop pressing buttons. Hell of a bounce in NQ, though.
Order filled.
Did you disable all the other buttons, Jack, so I can't press the other buttons?
Order filled.
No, some of them are legacy. There's still the one, this isn't happening, but I know that this one still
that
works.
one works? That one works.
Yeah. Stay away from it.
Okay.
Don't hit it. Don't hit it.
Wrong.
We're already causing
I got
chaos.
short a couple micros. I'm short 5 micros in the S&P, 58.9.
Order filled.
58.09 half. Stop is above 20 in the S&P.
You're short.
Yep.
What's your price? I just want to mark it down so I can keep track.
Order filled.
58.09 half.
What'd you see in that trade to take that one, Coach Jay? Short 59? Sorry, 58.09.
Order filled.
Yeah, we'll see if this one works. We had overnight VWAP right there. It's kind of leaning towards the downside, and there was a high volume candle in the pre-market session. 50% of that is right here, 58.12s. So just shorting against that.
Okay.
With risk above the high. What I want to see right now is this sell below 58.03, and then I'm really comfortable with this trade, but we'll let it work for now.
And what's kind of your strategy, Jay, when it comes to taking profits? You're in, how many contracts you in? Sorry, it's a little small.
I'm in 5 right now, Dolby. 5 micros.
Okay.
5 micros. So what I like to do is have potential targets that I think the market can get to, and then just think position management as we get there. So if I'm in 5, if we get to my first target and we don't just completely sell through it, then I might scale out and take 1 or 2 off. Risking about 300. It's about a 2-to-1 risk to reward on this trade right now.
2-to-1. Nice.
Yep.
As I mentioned, we
Inside
got
of 2
number
minutes
coming
here
out
on the
in
number.
a minute.
Also,
Top step levels will not be updated until Monday. Dolby and I
that is
are
correct.
Jay are just shoveling all the coal into the boiler right now, keeping the ship afloat.
We got a mandate, Jack, to keep this ship running. And we're gonna. This ship will run. Taking this thing to
no
Friday.
matter how hard it is, we will get it done.
Whether or not we're here on Mondays, entirely up to management. But we're going to try our best. Coach Jay,
I'm taking Monday off.
Taking Monday off. Yeah, I'm feeling a tickle in my throat, Jack. See how that manifests. Coach Jay. So, Coach Jay, we're going into numbers. You don't care. Honey Badger don't care. Coach Jay
I care a
don't
little
care.
bit.
Care a little bit? Okay.
Order
Trade
rejected.
A little. Yeah.
Well, here's the
Jesus,
thing,
and
Jay.
I care a little bit.
Service PMI, they're looking at 49.7. Prior was 49.7. The composite 50.4, prior 50.4. But hey, you know what? Anything can happen here. So it looks like it's going to be a calm number, but anything can happen.
20 seconds. Dolby, I don't care if you're on a ventilator. You will be here the next 2 days.
Oh, yeah. I'll stream in from
Just
the hospital.
breathing into it like Darth Vader.
Yeah, a little.
10 seconds.
Wheel them in.
All right, I'm out there. Took another
ASMR.
$100. Like I said, I'm in this
Nice.
drawdown. We're gonna try to work out of this drawdown. Took another $100 there. So working out of it and being safe, not trading into that number.
There you go.
Nice
All
job.
right, we do have the PMI service PMI coming in final 51.0. They were looking at a 49.7. The composite PMI, they were looking at a 50.4, coming in at 51.6. So higher on both of those, and we're seeing expansion. Positive on the U.S. dollar. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Eddie. Brief respite here. We got ISM Services PMI at 9 a.m. along with factory orders. 9:30, we got crude oil inventories for those that are trading the black stuff, which will not be Dolby and I today, but maybe Jay will get
Not
in there.
today. My alma mater, crude oil.
Order filled.
Fun market to trade back in the day.
Crude you.
What was your mascot?
It was an oil barrel, Eddie, with arms and legs, and a smiley face.
Perfect.
Yeah.
A rich Texas guy with a 24-year-old wife.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so we got some news coming out later. Still going to sit on the sidelines. As soon as this
Order
9 a.m.
filled.
news is out of the way, I think we just open up the house account and let it rip.
Yes, Peyton.
There should be some good trades available. Coach Jay, you got flat into
Order
the number.
filled.
Any regrets? Are you still okay with that decision?
No, not at all, because there was a big buyer that stepped in the S&P between 57.98 and 58.01. About 1,000 contracts. Looks like they kind of just went to market there, and we're holding that, right? We're holding that high 58.02. So I'm comfortable with the trade.
Order
if I was
filled.
not in a drawdown, would I be holding this? I probably would, because I do think there's a lot more room lower. But you don't really want to trade the P&L, but I'm a human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens here.
Go ahead. What kind of typically is your strategy, or even drill? We'll pass this around. A little hot potato of a question, but how do you manage drawdowns? Is it sort of like base hit, or just don't change anything? How does it impact your psychology while you're trading?
I go to base hit mode. I go to base hit mode. I mean, and that was a trade. The way I like to think about Adobe is I really like the trades that I take at this point.
Good.
But I like the good ones. I hate the bad ones, right? So I look at this right now as, opportunity costs, where if I didn't take the shitty trades that I took this morning, I'd be able to hold on to these. So I'm just keeping that in mind. Right now, I have to trade base hits because of the decision I made earlier. So keeping that in mind. And then when we trade tomorrow, it's, hey, wait for these really good opportunities, because if we can see it, that trade that I just took had a 2-tick drawdown. Those are trades that I want to try to hold.